Hi everyone. This week we will continue with lists and iteration. My name is Dr. Muhammed Gölec from Boğaziçi University Computer Engineering Department. By the end of this chapter, you will be able to learn and answer how to understand lists as Python objects, how to create and manipulate lists, how to access, update, and delete list elements, how to use built-in list methods like append, remove, count, index, reverse, and sort, how to use the in operator with lists, how to iterate over lists using loops, how to nest lists and access inner elements, how to combine lists with iteration like for and while, how to apply list operations in problem solving. Before starting, we need to learn some concepts like class and object. There are two different ways to define an object. Like, for example, here in the first example, we are defining an integer. Here we are defining one string, and here we are defining one float. Other ways to define an object. First of all, we can appoint or we can create one integer object by writing int and function symbol. Then we can appoint 31 to our integer. Likewise, first of all, we can create one string by using these symbols. Then we can appoint a value inside of it. Again, we can create float object first of all by using that one, and then we can appoint the value to our float object. Okay, if we try to print the type of age, we will see classes as an integer, right? Or class as integer. Again, if we try to type name, we will see string class, and if we type by number, we will see float class. So in the first example, age is an object of the integer class. In the second example, name is an object of the string class, and the last one, by number, is an object of the float class. Here, we can see the definition of methods and properties. Classes like integer, string, or float, or so on, have predefined methods and properties. Property represents a characteristics or attribute of an object. Method is a function that performs an action on an object. Let's give some example. For integer property, we can give example. Print age.real, so it will return the real number of your object like age, and print age.image. It returns the imaginary part of a complex number. As there is no complex number here, it will return just 0. And as an example, a method of integer, we can give dots bit length, and it will return the number of bits required to represent an integer in binary. Likewise, we have properties and methods for string. For example, here you can see one property. Let's say name equal to Muhammad, and if we try to print name.len property, it will return the number of letter inside of the name. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? And if we go to example of method for string, we can give example print name.upper. It will return all small letters to the capital. And another example, if we use method replace, it will replace the letters like that one, right? And in the last example, floats also has some properties and methods. I will skip here because I already explained in the integer example. And for methods, if we try to write pi number that is integer, it will check if it is integer or not, and it will return false or true, like that one. And again, you can see the other example here. Okay, let's go to Jupyter Notebook to understand better. As I explained that one in the slides, you can check and understand. For example, in the first one, we try to define an integer here, and we define a string here, and we define a float number here. Let's run it, and if I print all types of objects, we will see the classes. The first one under integer classes or integer class. The second one is under string class. The last one is under float class. For properties example, you can find here. Okay, until now, we saw data types like integer, float, bool, string, and this week we will learn lists. We call them, let me explain one concept. We call them as a data types before, but also you can call them as a classes, right? They are same. Okay, here we are continuing with lists. A list is an ordered, mutable collection. They can store mixed data types like integer, string, float, and so on, defined using square brackets. And indexing starts from 0 and going to 1, 2, 3. Allows slicing like my lists from first element to the third element and supports iteration with loops like while and for. Let's assume we have a class of 4 people and let's assign it to a list object. The first student, Mohammed Görech, second one is Tommy Versetti, third one is Trevor Phillips, and last one is John Price. Here are example you can see. The first one is Mohammed Görech, second one is Tommy Versetti, Trevor Phillips, and John Price. First of all, we can define a list by using this, and or otherwise we can use square brackets to define a list object. And once you print type of the students, you will see list class. After defining list object, you can use append function to add some elements to your list object. In the example, you can see, okay, here we are appending Mohammed College. Then second one, we are appending Tommy Versetti. And always the append method, it always appends to the end of the list. It means if I try to add one more here, it will go to 2 and add the element here. If I try to add one more, it will again go to end, add here by using number index 3. And here we added all elements inside the student list. And to be able to print the element with the index number 1, it means that one. We can use square brackets and put the index number you want to print. You can put 2 for Trevor Phillips. You can put 3 for John Price. It is working like this. And if you want to print all elements inside of the student list, you can directly use print students and len for the length of the students here. Here we are 1, 2, 3, 4 students. That's why it will return 4. And if you want to print the last element of the students list, you can use -1. And if you want to change any element of the list, you can first of all define the index number here, and you can write whatever you want here. For example, here we are aiming to change the element with index number 2. It is Trevor Phillips here. Then we will put Gerald Turk instead of Trevor Phillips. Okay, now we can go to our example on Jupyter Notebook. Okay, we are defining student object list here. Then we will add by using append Mohammed College, Tom Rasetti, Trevor Phillips, and Joe Price. And if I run that one, it will return the first element. Be careful, elements, I mean the indexes, starting from 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on, right? The 0, the element with 0 index number is Mohammed College here. So if I put 1, it will return Tom Rasetti. And if I print student object, I mean list, it will print all together. And if I try to find length of students, it will return 1, 2, 3, 4 elements. And if I try to print students minus 1, it means the last element John Price, right? Okay. Also, we can use loops like while with lists. And in this example, you can see how we can print our list, right, by using while. Again, let's go to Jupyter. First of all, we define our list here and I equal to 0. And this loop, while loop, keep continue till your number I uh, equal to length of the students. Length of the students is 4 here, right? So it will increase like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Once I number reach to 4, it will just stop this while. So it will print all elements of the list here. Also, there is an in operator in lists, and the in operator is used to check if a value exists within a sequence. For example, here we define our list again, students, and we have one college, Tom Bracetti, and so on. If I try to print Muhammad College in student list, it will check if this string inside of our list. If it is inside of our list, it will return true. For example, if I put here print and write, for example, Jalal in student list, so it will return false. If we go to Jupyter again and check our examples for in operator, first of all, we define here students and we will print Muhammad College in students. So it's supposed to see true, right? If I put, for example, Ali, then it's supposed to see false. Okay, let's do one more example with in operators. We can check Bursa's neighboring cities, right? If you remember, it was very beginning example from previous weeks. Here it is asking, okay, let me run it. Please enter city name, first letter uppercase. If I write here, like, for example, maybe Çanakkale, then it will go to here as condition and it will say, okay, sorry, Çanakkale is not a neighbor of Bursa. But if I run it one more time and if I write one of the cities in the list, like for example, Bilecik, then it will come here, right? If I write Bilecik, it will take Bilecik as a string and a point to enter its variable. And here, if entered in neighbors list means that one. And as I put Bilecik and as Bilecik inside of neighbors, it will return true. As it returns true, then we will go inside of this if condition and it will print that one. Now we can continue with iterations in lists. For iteration, we said before we can use while and for loops. Here we are gonna learn for loops. Let me take pen. Okay. Iteration means repeating a process multiple times. In programming, it usually means going through elements of a sequence, helps to avoid writing repetitive code. A for loop is used to iterate over a sequence. It automatically goes through each item in the sequence. It is the main skeleton of for. And for an example, we can say, okay, let's define one list, the same list again. by writing some names. And if I want to iterate and print all elements in the list, I can use for loops like that one. And we also have one more important function called range. Range function generates a sequence of numbers commonly used for loops to repeat code a specific number of times. Here again main skeleton and range function. We are writing here starting point like 1 and stop point like 10 and the step for increasing, let's say 2. In that case, it will produce one list like 1 and it will increase 2, right? 1, 3, 5, 7, and that's all. If I try to print a list by using for loop and range, I can use this skeleton again. Here, it will produce a list like 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then it will come back to for loop like 4, I, in that one, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, not 5, just 4. Then it will print step by step all numbers, right? In the first uh, in the first round, 0 will be appointed to I and it will print 0. In the second round, 1 will be appointed to I and it will print 1 and 2 and so on. Okay, if we go to Jupyter Notebook now, it is here. Okay, let's see our example. First of all, we define a list with names and I will print all elements in the list by using for. And again, and now I will just see what is range function and how it works. As I explained in the slides, it will print 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And if I put that, it will start 0 and it will increase by 2 till 11, right? So 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. So it will come back here and it will print all the element in the list by using for loop. So there is one extra example here. If I define again our list here, and if I try to print my list by using range, I can use first of all len students. It will return here 1, 2, 3, 4. As my list length 4, it will return 4 here. So range 4 means produce a list starting from 0 till 4 till 3, sorry. Then print students. I means it will start with 0 first of all. So it will print students 0. Then in the second one, it will increase to 1. I mean the I will be 1. Then it will print students 1. Then it will increase again students 2. So we will see all elements inside of the student list. Let me remove that one because I forget to remove. Yep. Now we can continue with common list operations. Python lists methods have some operations like append. We already saw that one and learned how it works. It will add an element to the end of the list. Removes the first occurrence of the given element, not return anything. Pop also removes and returns the element at the index I, that one. Count returns how many times X appears in the list. Index returns the index of the first occurrence. Reverse reverses the list in place. Sort sorts the list in ascending order. Can use reverse through. Insert elements X and at the position I. Extend adds elements of another list to the end, right? We will see all examples for these operations, no worries. Okay, again, I will create my list and we will see all of them step by step. In the first one, it will append Big Smoke to the end here. Remove Tommy Vercetti will remove the element Tommy Vercetti here. And pop 2, it will remove pop 2. It means the second element from 0, 1, and 2, right? So it will remove that one. At the same time, it will appoint this value to x. If I print x, I will see this element. And print student count Trevor Phillips, it means how many times Trevor Phillips right, being inside of student list. We will see it is just 1, so it will return 1. If there was one more Trevor Phillips here, it will return 2. If there were 3 times Trevor Phillips, it will return 3. And student.index. Here, it is asking what is the index of Big Smoke string inside of the list. And student reverse, it will reverse the list by using alphabetic order. Let me check one more time. Maybe I did some wrong. Reverse. Yes, sorry, I forget it. Reverse will reverse the order of the old list. For example, 0, it is going by starting from 0, 1, 2, 3, right? So it will change the order. So the first element will be after this function, John Price. Second will be Trevor. Third will be Tommy. The last will be Mohammed Gulech. But uh, sort all lists by using alphabetic order, like A, B, C, right? Let's continue with insert. I think you already know it. Here we are writing the index. We want to put our string. If I say 1, it will go 0, 1. It will change, or it will not change. It will put between Mohammed Gulech and Tommy Vercetti CJ name here. And extend. It will add this list and of the students list here. Okay, let's go to Jupyter Notebook. We will see and understand better. Let's start by defining the list, and append function will add Big Smoke the end of the list. As you can see, it is coming here. Remove will remove the string of Tommy Vercetti. As you can see, now there is no anymore Tommy Vercetti here. But what if I remove one more time Tommy Vercetti from here? If it will give error, or it will try to remove something inside of this. What do you think? Yes, exactly, it will give error because there is no anymore Tom Vercetti inside of the list. That's why better to always put this condition to use remove. It means if Tom Vercetti in students, remove it. Otherwise, don't do anything. So we will not face this kind of error. And I will define new list like apple, banana, cherry, banana, apple. And I will remove banana. My question is, which banana it will remove? The first one or second one? As a rule, it will remove the first banana. It means that one. Okay, now students list like that one, Mohammed Gulech, Trevor Phillips, John Price, and Big Smoke. Here it will remove the second element, I mean the index, the element with second index. It means, as I said before, indexing starting from 0. So first one is 0, the index number 0, 1, and 2. So it will remove John Price here. And for counting function, let's define one more list, new one. Apple, banana, cherry, banana, apple, and it will count apple. How many times apple inside of these two? 1 and 2. So supposed to see 2. So here again, we will define new one, and we will try to find what is index of cherry. As I said before, indexing starting from 0, 1, and 2. So it will return 2. And reverse. Reverse will change the order in the list. So the first element will be E, D, C, B, and last element will be A, right? By the way, don't forget, reverse function per makes permanent change. So it means if I use reverse like that one, then list two totally change. And again, it is for permanent change. Again, sort. Sort means sort the list by using alphabetic order. So A will be first, B, C, D, and E. And sorted, not for permanent change. It means if I use sorted function, let me show you. It will sort again by using alphabetic order, but it didn't make permanent change on the list tree. So if I call list tree one more time, you will see it didn't change. D, E, that one is A, B, C, right? So for permanent change, you can use sort function, not sorted. Okay, for insert function again, you will say which index you want to put your new string. We say one here. Okay, let's make it two. If I write two, CJ index will be two. So to be able to be second index, it should put CJ 0, 1, and here 2. So it will come between Tommy Rassetti and Trevor Phillips, as you can see. Now it is second index. Extend means adding some other new list to end of the list one. Okay, we define list one as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and second list are here is here A, B, C, D, E. And if I write list one dot extend list two, it will add list two end of the 5, as you can see here. And we have also other way to extend list by using plus operator. I will define again here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I will define list 2 A, B, C, D, E. And if I put plus between them, again, it will do same process here. Now we can continue with copy function. Here, our first list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we are a point list 1 to list 2. It means list 2 equal now 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5, right? What if I add 6 end of the list 2? So list 2 will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, right? It is our list 2. List 2. And if I want to print, or if I try to print list 1, what we're supposed to see? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? What do you think? I will explain that one a little bit later. And we have copy function to copy list 1 or copy some list. Here again, list 2 will be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 as a list. And again, we are doing exactly the same process. It means adding 6. And what we're supposed to see? What is the difference with these two? Let's go to Jupyter Notebook and see it together. Okay, the first example was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we are appointing list 1 to direct list 2. If I append 6 end of the list 2 will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But what if list 1? As you can see, it's also changing, right? But if you use copy function, it will not affect list 1, as you can see here. So the difference between them is that one is also affecting list 1. That one doesn't have any effect on list 1 because we used copy function. Okay, for list slices, we are using these operands. For example, we have list 1 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if we want to print from first element to third one, we can use that one. It means 0, I'm writing index numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, the element with index number 1 is 2 here, as you can see. So it will take 2. And the third index numbers is the element with index number 3 is 4 here. So it will go till 4. It means it will print here 2 and 3, not 4. It means go until element with indexing 3. Again, let's do that one. Our list was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is our list. And it will start from 0. If it doesn't write anything, it means it is 0. Go till 3. So take the elements with index numbers or 1 and 2, right? Or 1 and 2. So it will print 1, 2, and 3. Here it will start 3 and it will go until end of the list. So take elements with index number from 3 to end of the list. So it will start from here. It will take all elements. So it will print 4 and 5. If you do that one, it will print all elements inside of the list one. And we can use this for copying some list to other one. If you remember previous page, we used copy function to copy list 1 to list 2. Likewise, you can use that one to copy list 1 to list 2. If we go to examples again, let's define list 1 and take elements from first index till third index. So 0, 1, it will take that one. Second, it will take that one. Third, it will not take that one. If you spend a little bit time, you will understand. So that one was for copying some list to new list, as you can see. And it will not change the list if we try to append something end of the list. So that one for explaining, it is exactly the same with copy example we showed before here. It will not affect list 1. If you check it, you will understand. Now we can continue with nested lists. It means consider that students also have student IDs, so we will have 2 attributes for each names, like the student ID and name, student ID and name, student ID and name. So we are gonna create our list by using that one. Let's go to Jupyter Notebook again. Okay, first of all, I create student objects from list classes, and I will add 10 my student ID and name, student ID and name. It will go like that one. And if I want to print second elements, it means 0, 1, and 2. The index number is 2 here, right? We are putting index number always here. So it will return Trevor Phillips. If I want to print also second, the element with second index and the ID. So I can use that one. 0, 1, and 2, it will go there. And 0 means go inside and take the element with index number 0. 0 and 1. It is 0, so it will return 13. Also, we have an example here for surgeon list. Let's say we have 1, 2, 3, 4 books in our list with attributes like book number, title, author, author first name, author last name, and price. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attributes and 4 books. So first of all, we need to add all of them to our list. Let's do it together. Here, first of all, we created our book list by typing student let me check it, book number, book name, the first name, second name, like that one. And I will ask user to input some numbers, right, book number, until our user put Q, it will work. Otherwise, it will break. And first of all, I point font variable to false. I will make it false. And for B, in books, it will return the information about the books. For example, if I put the book number here, and enter, it will return all information about books. If I put something nonsense like 15, it will return nothing. And the while loop will work till I press Q. If I press Q, it will just break and finish.